Hi everybody, this is Melanie Williams with MelMel Stamps coming to you from my Stampin' Studio in West Jordan, Utah. I am going to make a card today using the Forever Blossoms stamp set. Beautiful stamp set with a lot of different blossom stamps and leaves. We're going to use this stamp and the Always and Forever saying. And I'm going to color it with my Stampin' Blends. First of all, I want to stamp the image in Tuxedo Black Memento ink. So I just want to ink it up good. I'll just stamp the image right here on the Whisper White thick cardstock. I like to use the Whisper White thick cardstock when I use the Stampin' Blends because it's always good for Stampin' Blends because they're the alcohol markers, they can bleed through. Also, I use it for watercoloring. Very good cardstock to have around. So, I'm going to color these blossoms with my Stampin' Blends. I've got light Petal Pink, light Flirty Flamingo, and the dark soft Seafoam. I don't have to do a lot of different shading because if you notice this stamp set is a soft shading in it, and so we're just going to go over it with one color of each. Now the Stampin' Blends have two sides to them. They've got, I call this the painty end and then the marker end. I'm going to use the painty end. You don't have to apply a lot of pressure. You just color in these blossoms. Be sure and let your black ink dry good before coloring with the blends. That way it won't smear or fade. I'm just going to go in circular motion, color all of these petals with the Petal Pink Stampin' Blend. Very easy. Stay in the lines, but don't have to be perfect. Nature is not perfect, neither are we. That's what I like about this. They're just really easy to use. Don't put a lot of pressure, a little bit of pressure. You don't want to put a lot of pressure and ruin your tip. It only needs a little bit of pressure to get that ink coming through. It doesn't go darker the harder you color. They're not crayons, so just kind of go over lightly. Then always put the tip back on so it won't dry out. They're alcohol markers. They can dry out quickly, so you always want to protect them. I'm also going to use the painty side of the dark Seafoam. Just go over my leaves a little bit. Notice how that shading that's actually in the stamp really makes it pretty. Kind of does all the work for you. The leaves, get the little leaves by the buds. Then I'm going to use the other side, the marker side, just to go over these stems a little bit. Just give them some color, make them pop a little bit. Fill in the little areas that I didn't get before. A little bit of shading. Now I'm going to add light Flirty Flamingo. Also going to use the painty end. I just want to add a little bit to the centers of this flowers. That's going to bring out the more pink hues in this Petal Pink. Flowers will be a little pinker than peach. I just want to color, just highlight them a little bit. Stampin' Blends blend, hence the name. The color blends in and layers. You can get a really pretty look to your projects with them. So, voila, our image has been colored. I just want to go over it a little bit. I see a few places that I missed, and maybe we can shade in a little more. This is still using the Petal Pink Light. Just go over it a little, blend those colors. Blend the Flirty Flamingo in with the Petal Pink. There we go. Now I want to cut this image out, and I'm going to use the dies that come with the set. Well, don't come with them, but coordinate. And I'm going to use this one. It's the Cherry Blossoms dies, and there's all different dies in here. There's 18 dies. We're just going to use this one to cut out our image. And let's cut that out with my die cutting machine, and there, that's what we have. And set that aside and assemble some more of the card. This is the Petal Pink Cardstock Vellum, and it's from the Perenniel Essence Cardstock Vellum package, and that comes with 3 different colors, and I'm just using the pink, and I've cut this at 3 and 4 1/4. This I'm going to run through the Scripty through my die cutting machine. I'm going to use the Scripty embossing folder. Obviously, I've used this one a lot. It's one of my favorites. It just adds a little subtle background to the projects. And I want to make sure where this has a light side and then a darker side, I want the darker side to have the raised image on it. So I'm going to put it in the darker side up and then have it in the folder with the Stampin' Up logo facing up. And then I'm going to put that through my machine and emboss it, and it comes out like this. And these words are just so soft and nice. It talks about grass, it talks about blossoms and clouds and sky, and it's just perfect. The birds sing in the garden, so it's perfect for my card that I'm doing that has the blossoms on. Now for the rest of the card, I have cut a piece of Pull Party cardstock in half, and so it's 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, and then I've scored it at 4 1/4. So that is going to be my card base. You can get 2 cards this size out of 1 sheet of cardstock, and they fit perfect in our medium envelopes. I've also got this piece of paper that I've cut 3 3/4 by 5, and this is from the Parisian Blossoms Designer Series paper, and it's got these little accents. They're so beautiful. It's accents in the champagne foil, and that's what makes it a specialty Designer Series paper. I'm going to use this side though. I'm just going to put a little bit of adhesive in the corners and the center, and then I'm going to put it on my card base in the front. Just offset it just a little bit. Glue that down. Then I'm going to add a little bit of Snail Adhesive to my vellum. And the vellum, the adhesive will not show through because we have the elements that are going to cover it, the elements of the card. So I've got that glued down, and now I've got my card base, and I'm ready to put the flowers on. I'm going to make a little tag. I've pre-cut this with the, let's see, the Stitch So Sweetly dies. They're in the mini catalog, and it comes with a lot of little frames, and it goes with a stamp set. I'm going to use this and just stamp our greetings. So I'm going to use Pull Party ink. And I've got the greeting on my block already. And I want to stamp this in the upper right corner because we have some elements to our card and we want the greeting to show. So it's beautiful how these colors go together really well. So we have these like this, so we could assemble it that way. I added some ribbon, and I just put, this is Petal Pink Metallic Edge ribbon, and I have just put a couple swags in there of it, and Then I adhered the tag with Stampin Dimensionals and the flowers with Stampin Dimensionals. And there we have our card. And of course we have to add a little bit of bling. So I added some of the Champagne Rhinestone Basic Jewels. And that matched the champagne metallic edge on the ribbon. I added those. And there we have the wedding card. So I hope you enjoyed the video. And I hope you have a good evening. Happy stamping.